Hey, what's up? I'm Jake Miller. Before I dive into the craziness that went down with my family, do me a solid, smash that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. So, I'm a 32-year-old dad living the American dream with my amazing wife, Sarah, and our little angel, Lily. We run our own coffee shop downtown, and life was pretty dang good. Sarah and I met in college, fell head over heels, and got married right after graduation. Her parents, Frank and Helen, seemed great at first, always smiling, bringing gifts for Lily, the whole 9 yards. Jake, my boy, how's business? Can't complain, Frank. We're doing all right. But lately something felt off. Frank's smile didn't quite reach his eyes anymore, and Helen was always fidgeting with her purse. Last week, they showed up at the coffee shop unannounced. Sarah, sweetie, can we talk to you for a minute? Helen's voice was sweet, but I could sense the desperation. I watched from behind the counter as they huddled in a corner booth. Sarah's expression went from confused to worried in no time. Later that night, Sarah told me what happened. They asked for money again, Jake. Said it was for car repairs. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. That's the third time this month. Something's not adding up. We'd already lent them a couple of grand, which they swore they'd pay back, but so far, nothing. The next day, Frank cornered me at the shop. Say, Jake, you wouldn't happen to have a spare 5 grand lying around, would you? Just until next month. I've got a business opportunity. 5 grand, Frank? That's a lot of money. What's this opportunity exactly? He waved his hand dismissively. Oh, stocks and stuff. It's complicated. Yeah, right? I wasn't born yesterday. Sorry, Frank. We're tight right now with the shop expansion and all. His face darkened for a split second before that fake smile returned. No worries, my boy. I understand completely. But as he left, I couldn't shake this uneasy feeling in my gut. Something was seriously wrong with Sarah's parents, and I had a hunch it was more than just money troubles. That night, I tried to talk to Sarah about it. Babe, don't you think your parents have been acting weird lately? What do you mean? All these requests for money, the vague excuses. I'm worried they might be in some kind of trouble. Sarah sighed. They're just going through a rough patch, Jake. They'll figure it out. But I wasn't so sure. The way Frank's eyes darted around. How Helen's hands shook when she thought no one was looking. Classic signs of people in deep trouble. I decided to do some digging. Call it paranoia, call it intuition, but something told me I needed to protect my family. And if that meant uncovering whatever skeletons Frank and Helen had in their closet, so be it. Little did I know, I was about to uncover a nightmare that would turn our whole world upside down. But hey, that's what you do for family, right? Even when family turns out to be the ones you need protection from. Things got tense real quick. Frank and Helen started showing up at our place almost every day, always with some new sob story. Sarah, honey, we're about to lose the house. Can't you help your old folks out? I'd had enough. Look, Frank, we've already given you guys over 10 grand. What the hell's going on? Helen burst into tears, but something about it seemed off. Sarah was torn. I could see it in her eyes. Mom, Dad, we love you, but we can't keep doing this. We have our own family to think about. Frank's face turned red. So that's it? You're just going to let your parents end up on the street. I stepped in. Nobody's ending up on the street, but we need to know what's really going on here. They stormed out, slamming the door behind them. Sarah was a mess. Jake, what if they really are in trouble? I hugged her tight. We'll figure it out, babe. But something's not right. A few days later, we had a big family dinner. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Frank cleared his throat. So we've been thinking, how about we sell the coffee shop and split the money? Excuse me? That shop is our livelihood, Frank. Helen chimed in, her voice sickly sweet. But family's more important than money, right, Sarah? Sarah looked like she'd been slapped. Mom, what are you talking about? That shop is for Lily's future. Things escalated quickly. Frank started yelling about ungrateful children. Helen was crying again. And Sarah was caught in the middle. I'd had enough. All right, that's it. You two need to leave now. As they were heading out, I overheard Frank on the phone. Yeah, they're not budging. We'll have to move to Plan B. My blood ran cold. What the hell was Plan B? The next day, Frank and Helen offered to take Lily to the park. Sarah thought it might smooth things over. I don't know, babe. Something doesn't feel right. Jake, they're her grandparents. It'll be fine. Against my better judgment, we agreed. Biggest mistake of our lives. Hours passed with no sign of them. Sarah was freaking out. They're not answering their phones, Jake. Something's wrong. We drove to the park, panic rising. No sign of Lily or her grandparents. That's when I got the text, a picture of Lily, scared and crying, with a message. Asterisk, want to see her again. We need $500,000. No cops, asterisk. Sarah screamed when she saw it. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Those bastards took our baby. Sarah, your parents kidnapped our daughter. We were in full panic mode. Sarah was hysterical, and I was trying to think straight. We have to call the cops, Jake. And tell them what? That your parents, who've been at every family event, suddenly decided to kidnap their granddaughter. They'll think we're crazy. I paced the room, mind racing. We needed a plan. A way to get Lily back and make sure Frank and Helen never pulled this again. Sarah, listen to me. We're going to get her back, and then we're going to make them pay. You with me? She nodded, tears streaming down her face. What are we going to do? I grabbed my phone. First, we play their game. Then we change the rules. Little did Frank and Helen know, they just messed with the wrong family, kidnapping my daughter. All was on, and I was about to show them just how far a father would go to protect his own. The ransom demands started rolling in, each one more insane than the last. $500,000 by midnight, or you'll never see her again. Sarah was losing it. Jake, we don't have that kind of money. I know, babe. We're going to figure this out. We tried going to the cops, but that was a joke. So you're telling me your in-laws with no criminal record suddenly decided to kidnap their granddaughter? Come on, sir. I lost it. Listen, you donut-munching idiot, my daughter is missing. That got us kicked out real quick. Guess we were on our own. That's when I hashed a plan, risky as hell. But what choice did we have? Sarah, we're going to set a trap, make them think we're playing along. I texted Frank. Asterisk, while get the money. Need proof Lily's okay. Asterisk, they sent a video. Lily looked scared but unharmed. Daddy, I want to come home. It took everything not to smash my phone. I dug into Frank and Helen's background. Turns out they were drowning in gambling debts, casinos, online poker, you name it. Jesus, Sarah, they owe over $1 million to some scary people. Sarah was in shock. How could they do this? I set up a meet, told them we had the cash but needed to do the exchange in person. Frank's voice was cold. Fine. Abandoned warehouse on 5th. Midnight. Come alone. I had a buddy hook me up with a wire. If I couldn't get the cops involved officially, I'd get the evidence myself. Midnight came. The warehouse was dark, creepy as hell. Frank, Helen, I've got the money. Where's Lily? Frank stepped out of the shadows, gun in hand. Hand it over, Jake. Nice and easy. Let me see Lily first. Helen appeared, dragging a terrified Lily. Daddy. It's okay, sweetheart. You'll be home soon. Frank snatched the bag, checked inside. His face turned purple. What the hell is this? It's just paper. I smirked. Oops, guess I'm not as dumb as you thought. That's when all hell broke loose. Frank aimed the gun, but I was quicker, tackling him hard, the gun skidding across the floor. Helen screamed, letting go of Lily. Run, baby. Run to mommy. Lily bolted as I grappled with Frank. He was stronger than he looked. You ungrateful little. We gave you everything. I laughed in his face. You gave us nothing but grief, old man. Sirens wailed in the distance. Helen panicked. Frank, the cops, we have to go. But it was too late. I had Frank pinned, the wire catching every word. It's over, Frank. You lose. The cops burst in, guns drawn. Sarah ran in behind them, scooping up Lily as they cuffed Frank and Helen. The truth came out, gambling debts, loan sharks, the whole ugly mess. Frank spat at me. We would have paid it back. You ruined everything. I looked him dead in the eye. You ruined it when you took my daughter. As they were led away, Sarah hugged me tight. Lily nestled between us. It's over, babe. We're safe now. But deep down, I knew it wasn't really over. The betrayal, the fear, those leave scars. But we were together, and that's what mattered. Lily looked up at me, her eyes wide. Daddy, are the bad people gone? I kissed her forehead. Yes, sweetheart. The bad people are gone, and they're never coming back. The weeks after the kidnapping were rough. Lily had nightmares, Sarah was a wreck, and I was just trying to hold it all together. We were sitting in the living room when the news hit. Asterisk breaking news. Kidnappers Frank and Helen Thompson escaped custody in a daring jailbreak. Asterisk Sarah gasped. Oh God, Jake, they're coming for us. I grabbed my phone, ready to call the cops, when another update flashed across the screen. Asterisk update, fugitives involved in high-speed chase crash on Highway 101. Both suspects critically injured. Asterisk, it was like the air got sucked out of the room. Sarah's face was pale. They're hurt. I nodded, not sure how to feel. Looks like karma caught up with them. The next few days were a blur. Reporters camped outside our house. The phone wouldn't stop ringing. Jake, how do you feel about your in-laws' accident? I slammed the door in their faces. How the hell was I supposed to feel? Sarah was struggling. They're still my parents, Jake. I can't just stop caring. I tried to be understanding, but it was hard. They kidnapped our daughter, Babe. They chose money over family. We started therapy, all of us. Lily would wake up crying, asking if the bad grandma and grandpa were coming back. No, sweetheart, they can't hurt us anymore. The community rallied around us. Customers at the coffee shop left huge tips, neighbors brought food. It helped, but the trust issues ran deep. We visited Frank and Helen in the hospital once. They were a mess. Frank was paralyzed. Helen had severe brain damage. Sarah broke down. Mom, Dad, how could you do this to us? They couldn't answer. Maybe that was for the best. As we left, I felt the weight lift. We don't owe them anything, Sarah. It's time to focus on us. One night, as we tucked Lily into bed, she asked, Daddy, are we safe now? I hugged her tight. Yeah, baby. We're safe. And I promise I'll always protect you. Sarah and I sat on the porch later, watching the stars. You know, Jake, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad they're out of our lives. Me too, babe. Family isn't just blood. It's loyalty, trust, love. We've got that in spades. What do you think happens now? I smiled. Now we live. We love. We stay strong. And we never, ever let anyone mess with our family again. As we sat there, I thought about everything we'd been through, the betrayal, the fear, the fight to get our daughter back. It changed us, sure, but it also made us stronger. Frank and Helen, they got what was coming to them. Karma's a bitch and she doesn't play favorites. Me, I learned that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones closest to home. But I also learned that when you've got real love, real family, there's nothing you can't overcome. So here we are, new names, new home, same unbreakable bond. Lily's growing up strong, Sarah's smile is back, and me? I'm just grateful for every day, every moment, every chance to be the family we were meant to be. Life ain't perfect, but it's ours, and nobody, is ever going to threaten that again. That's a wrap on Jake's intense family drama. Now here's a question for you. If your own parents committed a serious crime against your child, could you ever forgive them? Or would you cut them out of your life completely, no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This isn't an easy one, but that's the point. Let's get a real conversation going. If this story hit close to home or got you thinking, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got more raw, real-life stories coming your way. Your support keeps these hard-hitting narratives flowing. Stay tuned and let's keep exploring the dark corners of